Are you scared?
Are you scared?
Can you see everything dashing past you, or are your eyes closed?
What does it feel like deep in the pit of your stomach?
Will you be satisfied with the impact?
What does it feel like to be waiting? The waiting, the suspension.
Can you see anything specific?
Do you understand why this is happening?
Is everybody falling, or just you?
Do you wish this had been kept a secret?
Will somebody catch you?
Can you see where you'll end up?
Is this a catastrophe?
Who do you blame?
Are you silent?
What can you see?
They're caught.
You're caught.
We're caught between the fall and the impact.
Like the Tay rail disaster, those people in the carriages, falling, waiting to hit the icy river below.
Like skipping class, knowing you could get caught.
Like making a big decision, spending a lot of money on something, not knowing if you've done the right thing.
Like skydiving.
Like waiting for an exam to start.
When you look somebody in the eye, ready to deliver bad news.
When you're walking towards someone and you both go the same way to try and get out of each other's way.
Like falling in love.
Like touching something hot but you haven't been burned yet.
When a loved one dies and you just wish you could know what happens next.
Like watching the news in 2020.
Like when you drop something that's just about to hit your foot.
Like when you share a secret and realise everyone's found out.
So when you're watching bubbles after you're blown them, and they're sinking before they pop in that cool glittery way.
When you jump off a rock into water, the moment before you hit the water. Just that moment.
Yeah, all of that.
It's just like that.
What can you see?
Are you
It's like
scared?
watching the news in 2020.
Can you see anything specific?
Waiting.
It's just like that.
It's like watching the news in 2020.
Waiting.
Are you silent?
It is
What
like
can-
watching the news in 2020.
You're just waiting.
Are you scared?
Are you silent?
Is it like watching the news in 2020?
She fell in love. It was sweet.
You fell in love. It was amazing.
We talked for hours upon hours until they couldn't keep their eyes open any longer.
Everyone in the past had let him down. She changed everything. He was the happiest he'd been in a long time.
They left all sorts of silly little things and grew from ear to ear when they got notification from one another.
Getting a notification from her made him smile to himself, and just hearing her voice took him away from all the problems life was throwing at him.
The days couldn't get any better, she thought.
A few months passed by.
A few months passed by, and things aren't the same. Not as many calls and not as many texts.
He didn't call her as much.
The boy was acting off.
The boy didn't want to hurt her.
The girl wondered, what could she have possibly done wrong to push him away?
The boy wondered how he could tell her the truth.
They were caught,
Suspended between the fall.
and the impact.
The boy met someone else.
He said all the cliche lines like something out of a chick flick.
I think we should just be friends. Look, it's not you, it's me. I just need to work on myself for a little bit.
She was naive.
He was naive.
Things won't ever be the same.
Things won't ever be the same.
Just another day of being in a bag. In a box. In a warehouse, probably.
It's getting a bit boring, if I'm honest. Not much to do except think.
I pray our picture on the website does us justice.
I think we're a desirable set, but I'm not sure yet.
From what I've heard, we're a set for a pretty TV show.
I guess the possibilities are endless.
We could be part of a spaceship.
Or a policeman set.
Or a castle.
Or a dragon?
Or maybe we'll just sit on the shelf, wishing that someday someone will grab us while passing by.
I've heard that some sets apparently just sit here for an eternity, just waiting and waiting. Mainly those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sets.
Or those Lego and Jago sets that no one even touches anymore because we're lame.
Or the ones with inaccurate builds. Like, what's even the point? Why would you buy them?
Inaccuracy.
Or the
Inaccuracy.
Star Wars set. It's so 2018, man.
2 years ago.
Oh,
Exciting!
I thought I heard the rumble of the guy coming the forklift.
First time this has happened in a while.
Someone bought us? Did our picture do us justice? I thought I'd be like those stupid Ninjago sets.
Definitely not luxury travel.
I wonder who's bought us.
we must have well-off grandparents.
Oh my god! We got picked!
Yes!
Woo!
What can you see?
Can you see anything specific?
You cannot sweat or breathe too hard. Don't blink too quick and Stop that smile. It's too wide.
So, oh God, everyone knows. When you go in the room, they'll all be staring at you with their judging, mocking eyes.
When eye contact is maintained, you're in control. Control over yourself. Control over her. You never meant to let her privacy become public.
How can you face up to this? You only told a few people and they promised not to tell.
Don't tell anybody, you said. Promise. And they did.
They said it was an accident, but you know better.
Maybe you should feel betrayed. They promised too, so why is it your responsibility?
The shame and embarrassment of it all hits you like a wave.
But their eyes meet yours and you can see they're not annoyed, just disappointed. So you say sorry and they leave it at that.
You know they'll all forget about it eventually, but that doesn't stop you from breaking out in a cold sweat every time you think about seeing them.
So they forget about it in a week or a year, but you don't. You feel dirty. Only for a while, but you can't forget.
Why did you think it was a good idea to tell anyone in the first place? It was stupid. You know that now, and you won't make that mistake again.
If you're looking for news, you're going to have to find a new source.
I see all the other ones, like us, on the shelves. We go on for miles and miles.
Set after set after set after set after set after set.
You know, I'd only ever heard rumours about those famous yellow bags.
Thought they were a myth.
But we were picked and placed inside one of them.
Ready to be revealed.
We couldn't see for hours, just the rumble of the bumps in the road.
Oh, we stopped so many times.
Start.
Stop.
Start.
Stop.
If only I could see outside.
There must have been a million stops.
The anticipation was killing me.
Eventually, we arrived.
The doors opened.
The light shined in.
Almost blinding.
We were taken to the door, and the bell was rung.
We waited for what felt like an eternity.
We held our breath and closed our eyes.
I just pray they don't regret picking me.
It was 2019. I was 15 and had never done a proper exam before. I was terrified. Every time the thoughts of them would drift into my head, I began to worry. What if I didn't study enough? What if I forgot things in the exam? What if I failed everything? I would go on a downward spiral. There were some, like art and history, that I was less worried about. There were others, like maths, that made me want to throw up whenever I thought about them. Prelim season was fast approaching, and soon I began to start sitting them. The first two went okay, I thought. Not quite as disastrous as I thought they would, but the maths prelim was right around the corner. I woke up that morning feeling sick to my stomach with nerves. Walking in and seeing everyone crowded together outside the exam hall, they only got worse. Some talked in hushed whispers, others loudly and far too cheerfully.
I'm so excited for
Me
this
too,
prelim.
me too, me too, me too.
I
I've done
stuck at maths.
so much studying. I honestly, my brain can't get any bigger.
Honestly, people that are like, oh, I studied for 5 hours, I studied for 6 hours. I've been studying since 2 weeks ago.
So hard.
I am
I'll be
going
about it,
to
but
smash it.
this is all around.
Feel the panic rising in me. The doors opened. An unremarkable invigilator looked out. It was time.
Owls and the quiet laughter of children fill the hall. Nerves, shivers, anticipation. The room is chilly, and as I breathe, I can see the cold air escape my lungs as it rises to the roof.
There's nothing like that feeling. Those fleeting moments before it starts, when walking in and opening the paper seems like the biggest and most important thing in the world, yet every cell in your body wants to run as far away as fast as you possibly can.
Rows of children, laid out like a cemetery. Solid, stone, silent, like a town of ghosts.
I sat there, breathless, on the hard plastic chair. I was perfectly still, yet it felt like I was running, had been running for miles with no finish line in sight. The room was as silent as if there had been no one there at all, but when I moved my head, 100 eyes followed my gaze.
You're sweating, as people do, and I swear I could probably drown in it.
The invigilator began to talk, his loud, clear voice cutting neatly through the air like the thin blade of a knife, but I was barely listening, barely aware of anything except the blue plastic desk before me and the beating of my own heart. I took a deep breath, swallowed the rising fear in my throat, and tried to think.
Silence. Quiet gulp or a suppressed scream. Like a call for help in a horror movie.
Words and equations floated loose from their individual tethers, spilling over into the rest of my brain in an unintelligible jumble.
A girl, in the centre of the room, her eyes darting frantically around, as if there's something following the corner of her eye and she just can't find it.
My eyes flicked to the girl next to me, her eyes down, staring hard at the blank white paper in front of her.
She's frightened. I sip my warm coffee.
The clock ticked forward. A pen clicked wildly somewhere near the door. I felt the invigilator's eyes brush past me as he opened his mouth in preparation for the awful words.
Your time starts now.
Anxiety, crippling, clocks ticking. Time is moving slower. I'm frozen in place. I furiously cough. Why is no one looking at me? They all look into space, blank expressions on their face. Why is this the fate 14-year-olds must suffer? It's 2018 and I fear for my future. If I fail, what hope is left? I must succeed, so I plead. Please, for all that's great on earth, give me success and I will forever try my best. Time speeds up. Why is the clock running so fast? Stay calm, they tell you. I'm 14 years old, on the verge of losing my shit. Exams can be stress makers, life takers. But all that they can say is that it will be okay.
Your time is up.
I'm a big fan of Lego. I just love making all these interesting structures from the wee plastic bricks. And honestly, after completing a set, it's just so satisfying. I also really like the Netflix show Stranger Things. So when Lego announced the Stranger Things set, I was hyped. The only downside was it cost quite a bit of money, like almost 200 quid. I wanted to save up for it, so I decided I would. It took a while. My grandparents are fairly well off and they give me a monthly allowance if I pay my own phone bills, but still, took a while. Anyway, when I'd eventually saved enough, I went on the Lego online shop and, with my parents' permission, I bought the set. It was worth it, but when I first got it, I wasn't entirely sure. I was kind of worried I would end up regretting it. I wasn't sure if it was a good investment, but I did it anyway. And honestly, I have no regrets.
Are you scared?
Somebody catch you.
I often wonder what's going on in my pets' heads.
What do they think when I'm being silly with my friends?
What do they think of me?
What are their exact thought processes when they decide to jump on top of the door only to find out they can't get down?
What does it mean to think?
What does it mean to be alive?
Life is an illusion.
It's a mystery to us all.
No one knows what happens when you pass on.
But we can only hope that we'll spend the rest of our eternal lives in the afterlife with the ones who we loved in the past.
Even I believe that animals too have an afterlife. They weren't born for us to hunt, kill, and feed on. They were born to be loved and share the land with us, even if they were on the planet first.
As we evolved, so too did animals.
We began to domesticate them for our own special purposes.
To have a house pet who can guard our home when we leave.
Or even just to have a friendly companion who we can share stories and our experiences with.
Even if they can't talk back.
I am one of millions of people who've had a house cat. And even if you don't see them every day, they'll forever be in your heart. I lost my partner in crime to nature. Nature's the animals hunting animals, and that's what they have to do to survive. Max will forever be held in my heart.
A bond with a pet is a strange one.
They don't understand you.
You don't understand them.
Yet somehow there's this unspoken understanding of one another.
How can so much be said with just a touch?
One brush of the shoulder or a warm hug on a winter's day.
Will the afterlife be exactly as I expect it to be?
Do your pets remember you when you're gone?
How much do they really love you?
Is there an afterlife?
Is there an end?
We will meet again, buddy. I love you.
right in front of us.
My brethren are slowly being picked up all around me. Oh, I hope I'm chosen next. Oh!
Damn, that's pretty cool looking so far.
Come on, pick me up, pick me up!
Ah, yes, I see those fingers coming for me.
Oh, they weren't going for me. Nah.
This is an absolutely sick-looking building. It's nearly done!
That must mean it's nearly my turn. Whoa!
Well, if it's nearly your turn, that means it's nearly my turn. Whoa!
It looks...
It's finished.
It can't be finished. I've not been put in it. I mean, it does look pretty complete. Like, finished. Does that means I must have been the spare piece.
I am Paul, between the fall and the impact. You are Paul and the impact. You are falling and the impact. Everyone is caught between the fall and the impact.
I am as old as the earth, older than history.
And I am alone.
The river is all I have ever been, and I swallow everything whole.
The stones,
The boats.
The people.
One of my fears is swimming in cold water. So when I signed up for Outbound, I was nervous but excited. The task we were set that day was to jump off these high rocks into the River Tay.
some of them come quietly.
Willingly.
Letting me wrap myself around them with hardly a ripple.
We scrambled over the rocks, hugging them tightly to make sure we didn't fall into the water.
Others join me in a rush.
Laughing and thrashing.
Hardly minding my cold state.
Unaware of the terrible darkness below my glassy surface.
I could feel my feet slip with every side step I made.
My favourites, though, are the ones who are afraid.
The rocks were cold, like a car windshield on a winter's morning.
They are right to be. Less of my depths have been explored than the surface of the moon. My black sandy bed undisturbed.
After lots of scrambling, made it to the jumping part, the bit I was dreading.
They climb uncertainly, unsteadily, watching me constantly with uneasy eyes.
I stand on the edge and peer down into the blue, black water.
They hang back, watching their friends jump.
Watching them fall, dissolve, and resurface.
Hearing their siren calls to join them.
And so they push their toes over the edge.
Just a little.
Press them into the cold, damp stone as though it is their only anchor.
I jump.
I can see the panic in their eyes.
Discomfort.
Caught between the fall and the impact.
The breathless wait for a fall they know they cannot evade.
Some of them closed their eyes.
Some of them bite their lip.
But they all do the same thing in the end, without fail. They take a deep breath, throw themselves forward in a burst of something like panic, and fall.
The air rushes around me as I plummet into the water. The feeling of adrenaline freedom comes over me. Then crash. Water engulfs me like a cold blanket, and I am swallowed whole.
We are all still falling, though, aren't we?
We are all still caught between the fall and the impact somehow. Caught between knowing and the not knowing. Waiting for what's to come. Suspended. Waiting for the fallout.
Hoping that at some point we will land.
2020 has been that sort of year, though, hasn't it?
But we will land.
Yeah. We'll be okay.
And so will you.